Well, hello there. It's been a long time since I've done one of these astrology sessions because we have just come out of really long Virgo season. So welcome now to Libra season. So we're halfway through the astrological year, which began back in April with Aries season. We've done all the hard work of perfecting things during Virgo season, and now we're ready for the peace, the harmony, and the romance of Libra season. Sounds lovely, doesn't it? Please do be aware, if this is the first time that you've tuned into my work on the astrology side of things, that I work with sidereal astrology. And the sidereal zodiac considers things from the point of view of the stars, from the actual placements of the stars in the current time. I have much more of an explanation about this over on my website, and I will put a link so you can access that. But basically that is why I'm introducing you to Libra season now in early November, whereas if you were only used to tropical Western astrology, you would think of Libra season as being way back in September. So here we are. So sidereal Libra season, which is the true time that the sun actually rises in the constellation of Libra, is between the 5th of November and the 24th of November. We don't get much time in this balanced season. It's less than 3 weeks. And that is because the Libra constellation is a really small constellation. So we're looking at the zodiac wheel from the point of view of how big are each of the constellations. So this system is astronomically correct. So in accordance with astronomy, we're talking about the same thing. If you do have a look at my information about sidereal astrology, then you'll also see that this is all based on a term called precession, which means that the view of things changes very slowly, very gradually over a period of almost 3/4 of a century. Things will move by a degree. And that means that these dates that I've just given you are not set in stone, and they will change by a day over that period of time. So this is a big change from the tropical Western dates. So in tropical Western astrology, which is the most common system of astrology that most people are aware of from newspaper columns and that sort of thing, then Libra is from around the 23rd of September to the 23rd of October. So there is absolutely no overlap between Libra in tropical Western and Libra in sidereal, which can result in a bit of an identity crisis for people who might feel really strongly attached to their Libra personality, but then I'm telling you, well, actually, you're not a Libra. However, if this is the case, I find time and time again, if people are really attached to their sun sign personality from tropical Western astrology, that sign generally is really strong in their sidereal chart as well. So you may, if that's you, if you really feel like you're a Libra person and you're born in those dates between September and October rather than now, then you may have a Libra moon, you may have a Libra rising, you may have 2 or more planets, which we call a stellium, in the constellation of Libra, in the sign of Libra. The best way to check this out, of course, is to do a reading with me, and I'll have a link so that you can easily access that as well. So people who are going to find this information really useful are people born in those dates, so between November the 4th and November 24th. So you'll notice I've said November the 4th rather than the 5th, and that is because if somebody is really old, then they may in fact have still been born into Libra, a Libra sun on the 4th of November, because it may have changed over the time of their life. It really depends on what year you were born. So those people are Libra sun signs, the true Libra sun signs, and identify themselves as Libras, and most likely see themselves as balanced, as peace-loving, and certainly as very perceptive as well. If you know your astrology chart and you know that you do have a Libra moon or a Libra ascendant or rising, then this information is really relevant as well. So if your moon is in Libra, this means that you need to have Libra qualities in your life for your emotional well-being. You need to have harmonious companionship and partnership with others, and you need to be affirmed by the people that you are spending time with. If your ascendant or your rising sign is Libra, this means that's the sign that was on the eastern horizon when you were born, and it's what you're becoming or what you're developing through this life. And in the case of Libra rising, it means you're working towards recognition in the eyes of others for your charm and your great taste. Lastly, again, if you have your astrology chart and you can see that you have Libra on the cusp of your 6th house, or indeed Libra anywhere in your 6th house, the 6th house is the house of health and well-being, and that means that this information that I'm going to talk about in regards to Libra and medical astrology is going to be really pertinent for you. If you don't know what I'm talking about the 6th house, then please hop on back to the piece that I did about Aries, which was the first of the constellations and the first of my pieces on astrology that gives you a bit more information about the houses. Of course, if you have someone significant in your life who is Libra or has a lot of Libra energy, then this information is going to be really helpful for you as well. So Libra is a cardinal air sign. What does this mean? So Libra is one of the 3 air signs in the zodiac. It's the second one, and it tends to be a very idealistic and very intuitive energy. If you need any more reminders about what the air element means in astrology, then please head on back to the piece on Gemini, which was the first of the air signs. And again, I'll put a link for that for you. You may remember that Gemini was all about mental activity. Learning, thinking, communicating is what Gemini loves to do. Libra's airiness is more in the realm of emotional activity. So Libra loves love, it loves romance, and it can be quite fickle or moody, as can we all in romance and in relationships. Although driven to seek partnerships, Libra's air quality means they don't want to feel weighed down and burdened by relationships. They want to keep things quite light. They want lots of relationships, they want lots of interaction, but they don't want to be buried under them. So tropical Western astrology continues to make the association between the zodiac and the seasons, and this really only works well in the northern hemisphere because it's all reversed in the southern hemisphere. So in sidereal, the whole idea of tying the zodiac to the seasons doesn't work quite as well, but it does still work. So Libra season in tropical Western astrology is autumn. So that's autumn in the northern hemisphere, but in the southern hemisphere, of course, it's spring. In sidereal astrology, it's late autumn or late spring. So I do think that they make sense for Libra. So at both of these times, air is really a vivid part of what we're aware of and what we notice. It's blowing the leaves about in autumn, and air is blowing the pollen about in spring, and lots of people have allergies. At both of these times as well, the weather does tend to fluctuate a lot, like the mood of Libra, from wet to dry, from warm to cool. But overall, nature is striving for balance and to reach a point of homeostasis during this Libra time of the year, and that is exactly the energy of Libra, constantly trying to find balance. Of course, spring does resonate a lot better with the Libra energy of romance than autumn, I think. But again, both seasons are very beautiful. So they're aesthetically pleasing to the eye. We have the beautiful flowers and plants and the bright green of the leaves in spring and new growth. And then, of course, in autumn, we have all those brilliant colors, the reds, the greens, the oranges, the yellows of the autumn season. Libra is the second constellation ruled by Venus. So the first one was Taurus, and you will know that both of these signs are very attracted to beauty. They're attracted to pleasure and to the arts. And this is the influence of Venus. That's what Venus is all about, beauty. But where earthy Taurus is quite inclined to become too bogged down by indulgence because it's got that earth weighing down quality, airy Libra resists being trapped in any way and can probably enjoy those indulgences a bit more easily and less dangerously than Taurus. The symbol of Libra is the scales, and the scales represent the energy of the pursuit of balance, of diplomacy, and of justice. Libra rules the 7th house. So in astrology, the chart is divided into 12 houses, and that talks about 12 different areas of life. So Libra is the 7th sign, and it rules the 7th house. The 7th house is all about significant relationships and partnerships. Certainly this does refer to romance, but it also refers to other areas of life, so partnerships within business, for example, and also just important friendships, important platonic friendships. It simply talks about how you relate to others, your 7th house. As the courtroom of the zodiac, this area of your horoscope also talks about contracts of all types and lawsuits. So people will often talk about it being the house of marriage, but that's really just because we're talking about relationships and we're talking about contracts. We'd also look at the 10th house for marriage because that is our public life, so how the public views us. So I'm doing this really to focus on medical astrology, on health and well-being, and what Libra needs to be aware of with this, but also it can be about, well, what does Libra season bring into awareness for all of us and make pertinent in our search for being as healthy and well as we can. So each sign of the zodiac has a particular body type associated with it, and that is really in relation to its key element. So as I've mentioned, that's air for Libra. So these people can tend to be quite light, thin, delicate types, thin, brittle bones, but just, tend to be more on the thin side. This is not necessarily true for every Libra sun sign. So people will often look more like their rising sign or like the dominant element in their chart. So if you are mainly air, but you don't even have a Libra sun or a Libra rising, that may be you. Due to their cardinal mode, so cardinal is the mode that Libra operates in, they can tend towards many collisions with others and with things around them. So what this means, they're constantly seeking relationships, so they're bumping into a lot of things and people. And that means accidents, clearly, but also can mean contagious diseases. So they're prone to bumping into the bugs that are around and collecting them. From an Eastern medical point of view, Libra, the constitution of Libra tends to be warm and moist, just like we think of with the spring air. When they're unwell, Librans need to be surrounded by people who love them, by beautiful surroundings, and by lots of positivity. So hospital is not a great place for an ill Libran. So each of the signs of the zodiac also rule different parts of the body. For Libra, it has rulership of all the endocrine glands and the hormones, because after all, what do? They balance us. The kidneys, the ureters, the bladder, really key body part for Libra. They govern physical balance. So the eustachian tubes and the inner ear that helps us to balance is governed by Libra. the acid-alkaline balance of the body, homeostasis and metabolism. So Libra does have some rulership of the thyroid along with Taurus and with Virgo, because of this rulership of our metabolism. And Libra also rules the ovaries and the fallopian tubes. So what this means is that Libra can tend towards ailments or problems, health problems in these areas. So any injuries or illnesses in relation to those body parts, high blood pressure or skin problems resulting from kidney issues are common, urinary infections, and also the back pain that accompanies when we have problems with our kidneys or our urinary system, fluid retention, thyroid or metabolic problems, hormone issues, adrenal exhaustion, and imbalances in any body system. So anything to do with balance, Libra is a sign that we would look to. Of course, I love to associate the signs of the zodiac with the 7 essential energies or chakras, as most people are aware of them as. And to me, Libra has strong connections to the 2nd chakra, or I call this our creation energy. So the sacral chakra, it's called. And also the 4th chakra, the heart chakra, or as I like to call this one, the love energy. So creation energy is the energy of close relationships, and the love energy allows us to give and receive love, and just generally to be open to other people, to have compassion for everyone, which are all things that Libra is constantly striving to do. Let's have a look at some ways, some remedies for Libra, some things that Libra can do to keep itself very healthy and well. And to do this, I use my system of even star, 5-star well-being. So we're looking at movement, at food, at sleep, at surroundings, and at being. So movement doesn't come naturally to Librans. It takes a lot of effort to get them going because they love connection, potentially social sports, or at least, maybe joining classes at gyms where other people always go to the same classes as well will work well. Exercising outdoors in fresh air, look, it's great for everybody, but especially these air signs, it's really beneficial for them. And as they love music, dance is a great form of movement for our Libras out there. Sleep. Because Libra is ruled by Venus, sleep won't be too much of a problem. They love all those good things in life, including sleep, so they should be pretty good at prioritizing sleep. The only risk is they can tend to self-sacrifice for the people that they're in relationship with, and may put someone else's timetable above their own and therefore put their sleep schedule out of whack. So that's something to be aware of. So being, I've got here as my 3rd one. So this aspect of 5-star well-being covers everything else that isn't covered by the other 4. Being around people that they love, and just being around people in general is very important for Librans. You poor Librans out there who've gone through lots of lockdowns over COVID, I do feel for you. I'm sure that wasn't great. Fresh air is essential, so please open your windows, open your doors whenever you can. Maybe invest in an air purifier if the air quality where you live is not good, or the air quality in your home is not good. Healing with energy is really great for this type of person. So Reiki, kinesiology, acupuncture, all those things that help to bring back balance in the system. We also love to talk about Bach Flowers, which are a homeopathic remedy, been around for a very long time, and there's a Bach flower assigned to each of the 12 signs of the zodiac, and for Libra it's Chloranthus. There are many others though, and really the right ones for you are going to depend on exactly what it is you're dealing with, so please contact me if you'd like more information about that. Then let's talk about food, something that Libra loves with that rulership of Venus. So as I mentioned before, can be inclined to indulging in good foods, but hopefully not to get stuck in it as much as Taurus. But you do need to be aware of that. So rich foods, sweets, alcohol are all things that Libras will love to indulge in. If you would like a really long list of foods, then please refer back to the piece on Taurus, because all the foods that are appropriate for Taurus really are appropriate for Libra as well, with that conjoined Venus rulership. Staying well hydrated, really important because of that rulership of the urinary tract. Juicing and fasting are really great for Libras as well. So again, it's about bringing back balance into the body to help your body to cleanse. Then juicing and fasting can be really good. So definitely avoiding excess sugar and salt. Brown rice is a great food for Libra, so might want to investigate in bringing that in if you don't already eat it. And please do purchase an organic brown rice. Sea plants are great as well. They're great for accessing iodine, which many people are deficient in, and with that involvement with the thyroid and balance, then that's really great. So sea plants such as nori, kelp, dulse, all really good and easy to just put a bit on your salads or sprinkle it on your eggs in the morning. Really easy to use. All foods that have lots of sodium phosphate. So sodium phosphate is the mineral that Librans can tend to be quite deficient in. They just use it up a lot. So foods that are high in that are great. That includes carrots, asparagus, silver beet, corn, figs, apples, strawberries, peaches, almonds, raisins, celery, pomegranates, spinach, radish, and beans. So it's a big long list. And some great herbs for Librans to eat include celery, dandelion, parsley, and alfalfa. There are some other herbs that are really great to use as teas: rosehip, nettle, sarsaparilla, and dandelion, all wonderful ones for you Librans out there to help bring the body back into balance. For our surroundings, for everyone, I would say avoid toxins. If you need more information about that, please reach out to me. The main ones that everybody needs to avoid are plastics and fragrances. But I love to then bring into our environment some beautiful essential oils, which are a natural fragrance and can work really strongly on both our physical, emotional, and spiritual selves. So some great ones for Libra are rose, birch, black pepper, cedarwood, cypress, geranium, and Siberian fir. If you want any information about anything that I've brought up in this, you want to know more about anything, or of course, if you would like to have a reading for yourself and find out exactly where you stand in relation to Libra, then please do get in touch. There will be a link for you to do that. And I would like to recommend that you really enjoy this Libra season. It's really short, so make the most of it. Get out in the fresh air and enjoy the beautiful surroundings that you are in. Be well.